makes one fun.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a
time. Welcome, everybody. This is the Narrative Podcast, and I'm your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. Good evening. Hope you guys have had a productive week so far. So yesterday was Wednesday, hump day. We got over the hump. So we at the halfway mark, tomorrow is officially the weekend, but yeah. So walk down another one. Hope you guys got some good plans for this weekend and going out doing some productive things and, you know, enjoying this time we have. Because you just never know how much of it you have to enjoy it. But anyway, my narrators, they already know the demonstration with my podcast. So for all new listeners, I'll just give you a brief synopsis about my podcast and what I do on it. Just going to just quickly give you a summary of my platform. So let's start at the top. Narrative Podcast. It's called the Narrative Podcast because I believe the mainstream media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. So basically, from my perception, I believe they use a lot of propaganda and, they just shine the light on all the negative nuances within our culture and propagate and push narratives and promote negative stereotypes within our culture. It's intentionally done, mostly for profit, but also to, break down our mental resistance by giving us these negative images, basically trying to desensitize us and make us feel like, the condition in which we're living in is normal. Like, that's normal for our culture. And try to just try to normalize all the dysfunction and toxicity that we have in our culture by just, having us become complicit in it and just accepting it by the way they package it and show it to us. So, that's part of it. And another part of it is to control the masses, control the minds of the masses, make other people outside of our culture view us a certain way, treat us a certain way, and keep us excluded from resources and tangibles that will have us independently functioning on our own and, cohabitating peacefully amongst each other. So what I want to do is I want to design a platform basically where I'm highlighting our successes and playing up our strengths and celebrating all of our accomplishments by providing positive frames of reference about original people and original culture. So hence the title, The Narrative Podcast. The ultimate takeaway I want my listeners to get from it is how important it is to share positive content about our people and our culture online. Share all positive experiences about our culture on all their platforms. And the reason, my logic behind that is basically anything you post online right now in this era that we're living in, is a perception of your beliefs and your value systems and, your ideology and your philosophy and just what you think about yourself. That's what people get from the content that you post online, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter. That's a snapshot or a window into your soul and into your core being. So just imagine people that don't know of us, never met any of us, people outside of our culture, don't have any original people, neighbors, don't never went to school with any original man or original woman. All they got is these negative frames of reference about us. So how do you think they're going to react to us with all these negative frames of reference? So that's my ultimate takeaway I want my listeners to get from my podcast, is how important it is to share positive frames of reference about our people and our culture at all times, whenever possible, online. Because just imagine, like on your platform, if you're always just sharing gang culture, drug culture, thought culture, gun culture, pimp culture, drug culture. I think I already said drug culture. I believe I did, but just all this, stereotypical, toxic things that are trending in the media right now. Because this is like, what these people, these wicked people that control the media, this is, how they compile their data. And they assemble content based around, what we're posting, what we're clicking on, and what we're looking at. So, it's not a definitive answer. Sharing positive content isn't it a definitive answer, but it is, a solution nevertheless. That's why I call, my listening audience my narrators. We all have the power to change the narrative about, how we're being perceived by people outside of our culture. Because we are all narrators. And so that's what I want you to do when you listen to my podcast, is take up the challenge to become a narrator and represent us correctly in the eye of the media, and having all these false narratives floating around about us, and just them just saying things that aren't true and posting images not reflective and indicative of who we really are. So I hope that sums it up for you. I'll address one more thing before I, dive into the content. Couple more things before I dive into the content. But I know you noticed I kept saying original. So on my platform, I refer to our people as original people rather than black. And I've elected to, whenever possible, insert the word original in reference to us and our culture. Because recently I had an epiphany about the word black. And, and my findings are like, as they say, you woke up in my awakening. What I've discovered is that, I believe in the power of words on my platform. And, I just had the realization throughout history, our people never referred to themselves as black. We never called ourselves black. This is something people that didn't resemble us said we were. And so when you go into the dictionary and look at the word black, you will see that there's a whole lot of negative connotation surrounding the word black. And not only that, they go out of their way to insert origin before they get to all these negative descriptors, adjectives, nouns, pronouns, adjectives, and example sentences describing the word black. Before they get to all that, and make sure that they denote, are Aboriginal people or people descending from Africa. And that's the only color in all the dictionary that denotes a place of origin. So when you look up the color red, it doesn't say anything about Native American. When you look at the color brown, it doesn't say anything about, Spanish people. When you look at the color yellow, it doesn't say anything about people descending from the continent of Asia. Just only black. And then all these negative descriptors, gloomy, depressed, black. It also symbolizes death and the end of all things. Black is also, associated with sickness and illness. We're anything but dead and dying. We're anything but sick and ill. But a word that I, also found, which was just the inverse of black, is the word original. The word original doesn't have any negative connotation surrounding it, only positive. So like, when you're original, you're the first, the beginning. When you're original, you usually hints at that you set the precedent, that you started the trend. Nothing surrounded the word original is negative. Often, the word original often symbolizes the best. Like everything else from the original mode is just, a pale in comparison to the original. And that definitely describes our people to a T, because we were the original man and the original woman on this planet. Pretty much every modern day invention was derived from us. All the modern day conveniences can be linked back to, our existence, our early civilization on this planet. Just like little things, like we originated mathematics, we originated science, we originated biology, we originated alchemy. We were the first people to build and travel by boat. We originated philosophy. We originated just so many things. So I think the word original is more indicative of who we are as opposed to black. So that's why I refer to our people as original on my platform. And this brother right here that I came across, it seemed like we was right on the same page when I came across this. I'm gonna play it. Just know I don't own the rights to this. I felt he did a better job at articulating it than I do about the power of words, which is something I believe heavily on my platform, because words pretty much shape reality. So once you say something and release it out of your mouth, you're bound to it. It's like a cosmic contract. So you got to be careful about what you say and how you say it, and then also what you think as well. But more to my point, the power of words. And I'm going to just pull this up for you, and I'm gonna dive into the content. I'm going to try to dive into it because I shared the link. I hope it plays.
Black shit. That's a dark spell for enslavement. And our people will be thinking when we say that, that's cool. That shit makes someone in law dead. Dead. As soon as that word come out your mouth, misidentifying yourself as black, you dead. It don't matter what you feel. It don't matter what you believe. That's what the word means. According to science, black means death. That's science. That's not something that you could make up and change. And if you want to get on the etymology side, it means a pale person. We ain't pale. Spells, man. Words. Words are magic. Words ain't something that you could be playing around with. You play around with it if you want to, but if you talking about getting justice, you can't play around with your words. Your words gotta be razor fucking sharp. They gotta be guillotine sharp. I'm talking about Excalibur sharp. Because first came the word. and the Word was God. See, the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So if the Word is God, and the Word is with God, and first came the Word, what do you think we see? Gotta stop pumping out that black shit. That's a dark spell for us.
All right, I think you guys get the message. So that came from the real Kush Day on Instagram. So go follow him. Like, that was real intuitive and real insightful, and I want to share that with you. As to why we should be referring to ourselves as original as opposed to the word black. But before diving into this content, so let me explain a couple things. This is a live broadcast, and on my live broadcast, what I do is share articles, and then on my normal broadcast day for my podcast is usually on the weekends, and my podcast is broken down into sections, and each section has a speaking points. But today is a live one, so I'll be sharing articles and commentary. And the reason why I do that is basically to save time and to help make my content more digestible. When I first started doing this, I didn't really know what I was doing. I would just kind of hit play and just start talking, and no real stopping point, no real starting point. But once I broke it down into sections and razor focused my speaking points, I noticed my listening audience went up. I started getting more reactions, so that's the format I stick with. I have my podcast broken down into sections, and each section has a speaking point on a full broadcast day. And I will go over my format after I'm done with this content, my live content today. When I go live, it's just randomly live during the weekday. I never know what days I'm going to go live. What time I'm going to go live. I just go live when I got the free time. And what my goal I try to accomplish is basically share positive frames of reference about our people and our culture via articles, just to slay these stereotypes, typical myths about us, to provide the positive frames of reference about us in the way of entrepreneurialism, in the way of family structure, in the way of leadership, in the way of a sense of community, being prideful, having honor, caring and conducting ourselves in a certain way, contrary to how we're being portrayed in the media. So that's why I share the articles. So, yeah. So after I'm done sharing my articles, I brief you over my format, and I dive into my commentary and leave you guys, for this evening, let you enjoy the rest of your evening, and have you have something to look forward to this weekend when I do my full broadcast of the Narrative Podcast. So like I said, before I dive into the content, I just want to take this time to, give a moment of silence for our sister that has passed away, and whether you believe she's our sister or not, because of her views, her political views, she is a sister, she is one of us. So recently, Diamond of Silk and Diamond, the duo, the Trump supporters, she just recently passed away. And that's, spoiler alert, that's going to be some of my commentary about that, and our views and how we're acting right now online about that. It's just not cool and not of us and not of our our core being, about taking delight in her death because of her political stance. That's just culturally something we don't do. We don't celebrate death. I mean, we do celebrate death, but we don't mock death. We don't wish it on anyone else that's not culturally of us. We are kings and queens. We are gods and goddesses. That woman has a family, um, you know, loved ones and people that wish her well in life. And it's very disrespectful with all this laughing and giggling and kikiing and talking about that's what she gets and all that online. So, like I said, I'll go more in depth into the commentary after I'm done, delivering my articles. But yes, a moment of silence for Black. What is the sister's real name? Or Diamond, excuse me. Lynette Hardaway. So, moment of silence for Lynette Hardaway, aka Black of Black and Diamond. All right, so on to the content. I know he's like, well, dang, keep on saying, going to get to the content, and you keep on taking all these little side tangents. But yeah, I just got like some real quick ones tonight. They're super short, but I think each one of them are really exceptional, and there's a real good job at delivering a positive frame of reference about our people and our culture. So I'm gonna start off with my first article. The headline reads, "A military veteran became a multimillionaire by investing in a group home facility." It doesn't really say his last name, but it just lists his Instagram handle, and it's Anthony underscore the investor, and he's a real estate agent on Instagram. So he gives like tutorials and webinars and whatnot about real estate and how to invest in real estate. But the headline alone I felt was noteworthy because I believe our veterans, they get a real raw deal. They go and fight for this country, and then all veterans in general, but especially us. They especially dog out our people. But so if you're able to like leave the U.S. military and level up in life, salute to you. All right. Second article headline reads, "A black couple makes history after purchasing 70 rooms at the Quality Inn in Memphis, Tennessee." And the brother, his name is Norland, and his wife, Amina James. So basically, they both have a whole lot of background, like educational background. They both wear many hats. I'm not going to dive into like all their, previous experience in grooming and accolades, because like I said, my goal on this podcast is to keep it short and sweet. I try to be very time conscientious to make my content more digestible, and both of their backgrounds is that dynamic and complex. I would just be 20 minutes alone, just, telling you all, the education he and his wife have and all the years of training experience they both, have combined. So, but, the headline is just basically a representation of, original people wealth and generational wealth, because, it's a husband and a wife, and I assume that they're one day going to have, children, or already had children. The article didn't say whether or not they have children, but if they do, they're already going to hit the ground running, because they accrued some like really major assets between the both of them. So like the hotel, the Quality Inn hotel tells that the chain that they own is worth, over 4 million. So yeah, no small potatoes there. Okay, next article reads, Woman makes history as the first black female designer to partner with Kohl's. And the sister's name is Barbara Clark Ruiz, and the name of her gear is Tech, and it's TEK, and it's outwear, like designer outwear, like worker clothes, workouts. I said workouts clothes. So it's really dynamic. Got some sweat technology, so you're not just dripping in sweat in the gym, and comfortable and flexible and all that, form fitting without being too tight and too constricting in various areas. And my last article of this evening, this is a story about generational wealth. And the brother's fairly young as well. Family makes history, opens first ever black-owned restaurant in New York City's Island. The brother's name is Daryl Levy, and his son is also named Daryl, but he's like the head chef, and he's on the cooking end of the restaurant. And so, as the family grows and expands, I'm pretty sure they got some cousins and uncles and aunties working there as well. So that's generational wealth. And I'm sure they're going to expand and have more of their family and extended family and friends working at their establishment, which means jobs for the community, which means, more service provided. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do some type of outreach and support the community that they're rooted in. So that's all my articles I have for you this evening. All positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. So that's it for the live broadcast. I mean, that's not it with what I'm going to do here tonight, but that's it as far as the articles, the frames of reference that I'll be sharing about our people and our culture. So now I'll brief you over, my format for a normal broadcast day of the Narrative Podcast. So I'm just going to basically like I said, I have my podcast broken up into sections, and I'm just going to just brief you over each section. I'm not going to, like drone on and on about it. But so when you tune in this weekend, my first section that you will be hearing from me is my promotional section of my podcast, or the promo section. And in that section, what I'm doing is giving original people that own or operate their own business or have their own product that they need or would like some free promotion, and how to get a hold of me. And I promote it for them for 110% for free. Not charging them anything to promote their business, brand, product, service. And my intention behind that is basically keep the original dollar circulating in the original community, helping them expand their business with free promotion, because, we got to support our own. And it's with my belief that I believe I attract people that also do some type of outreach in the community, hire their own, either have their own nonprofit organization or pay into one, or donate some of their product to the community, whatever it is that they're selling. give back to some capacity. Then on my next section, after the promo section, is my contest section. And with my contest section, what I'm doing is promoting a contest that I'm running here exclusively for the Narrative Podcast. And that's just basically an incentive reward to reward people that's been listening since day one. And, attract and, kind of entice new listeners to want to participate with the content and, give them a reason to tune in and listen to me with an incentive reward. So basically what I'm doing in that section is I'm giving away a bulk supply of your favorite snack by participating in the contest topic. So the name of the contest is called Did You Want This Challenge, or Did You Want This Contest, excuse me. And like I said, I'm rewarding you a bulk supply of your favorite snack just for participating in the contest topic. And my contest topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. Shopping while black is something that happens here in America and abroad. We definitely have to keep the dialogue circulating about that, keep that open dialogue. So basically it's just, listener participation as well to just, get you enthralled in the content and create dialogue with my listeners until I venture out into the visual side of podcasting. This is an all audio platform, so it's more like, right now it's more like a radio show type feel than rather a podcast. But, the wheels are turning and the seeds are germinating. So, you're going to be seeing my face pretty soon. And it's just going to come like just an open floodgate. All the opportunities is coming with it. You're going to see my face everywhere. I'm already kind of becoming a household name. So, you're just going to be experiencing me more when I do make the visual leap. But anyway, for right now, like I said, it's the Chew On This contest. So enter the Chew On This contest. Just check my episode log, and I give, detailed instructions on how to enter the contest. I'm not going to do it on here because, like I said, I'm trying to be time conscientious with this broadcast, because my goal is to not exceed 1 hour for my normal broadcast. So on the live broadcast, I'm trying not to really exceed 45 minutes because I want to just hit my marks. And like I said, so the content will resonate with you and it'll be more digestible. And you'll have something to look forward to for the next time. I'm not just droning on and on and on and on and talking endlessly. So that's my ultimate takeaway. I want to engage you in, whet your intellectual palate. So after the contest section, we come to the meat of my podcast, which is the highlight section. And in the highlight section, I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original men and original women. And the purpose of me doing the highlight section is to, put out the positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism, to deflect the negative stereotype about us being, disenfranchised and, not organized and just being lost in the sauce. Like the media just keeps on trying to bombard us with these images. And, like I said, it's a little shell game that they do to try to trick us into, having a low self-image about ourselves and just feeling hopeless, we're going to be stuck in this continuous loop forever with the systemic stuff. But like the positive frames of reference is not just there for you, the listeners, it's there for myself as well, and it's meant to inspire and motivate you. To say here, these people did it. They were just regular schmegular people working 9-to-5 jobs. They found something that they were passionate about and pursued it. They didn't have an extensive amount of educational background or expertise in the field, whatever they're selling. They didn't have like a whole lot of money to start. Like I said, they just stepped out on faith and made it happen. They found a way to make it happen, and they're currently dominating in whatever, business or service that they're involved in. And, the types of people I try to highlight in the highlight section is, people that, are original people owned from the top to the bottom, meaning, they're the owners of the facility. They didn't have any, not that there's nothing wrong with having Caucasian investors or silent business partners, but the positive frame of reference, they're original people owned from the top to the bottom, meaning they're the owner. All their employees are original. So also, they either have their own nonprofit organization or they pay into one. They do for the community, do some type of outreach, giving back, some type of philanthropy. And then one last thing, they align up with my theme. And my current theme is the season of winter. So all those things, they check all the boxes. That's what you'll be looking forward to when you hear the highlight section. And then the last thing I think I glazed over, what I'm trying to do in that section is to get you to, patronize those that support the community. Because essentially when you support someone from our people that support the community, you're supporting that community, and then you're also supporting yourselves, because companies like that, they expand, they grow, they hire more of their own. And it's not just for right now, it's for future generations as well. So it's not like people with this me and mine mentality. It's like, for the greater good in that section. Then the next section that you'll come to after the highlight section is the spotlight section. In the spotlight section, what I'm doing is I'm spotlighting a prominent figure within our community, and it's usually someone in the entertainment industry, usually an actor, actress, comedian, public figure, recording artist, an athlete, producer, writer, basically anybody with a polarizing platform, and always, unapologetically speaks on the cause, our cause, of being an original man or an original woman, unapologetically uses their platforms to speak on this systemic stuff, and or just the way they carry and conduct themselves, being a good visual representation of success. Definitely also doing some type of philanthropy, some type of giving back, whether it's giving back financially or giving back with resources, or again, like I said, using their platform to, be the voice for the voiceless. Taking on all kinds of causes, such as political or social causes. And one thing I gotta say, I always say, and I'm gonna keep saying it, that I just gotta give it up to myself for starting the wave of spotlighting. Because before me, Halsey Allen, You heard right. Started the way for spotlighting because before I added spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrative Podcast, nobody, nobody on the internet, YouTube, whatever, no periodicals, nowhere in the blogosphere was spotlighting anybody before I added the spotlight section to my podcast. And now every time you turn around, turn on YouTube, turn on the radio, tune into a television show or something or a daytime talk show, somebody's doing a spotlight section on something. So, I got to tip my hat to myself. As they say, imitation is the best form of flattery. I'm flattered. So even though nobody comes directly out and say they listen to the Narrative Podcast, they support my platform, by everybody like adding spotlights to, whatever they're doing, whatever they're promoting, that lets me know I'm causing, a ripple effect. I'm sending shockwaves out here. So I feel like very powerful every time I hear somebody doing a spotlight section. So I don't feel slighted at all. They don't be like, oh yeah, I listen to Halsey Allen on the Narrative Podcast, just them, doing the spotlight section. That's already the wink and the nod. And not to that, more to that point, I often hear people just kind of dry, preface me or preface my podcast, my content on my podcast in like tweets and shows. Is just like I get the reference. I get when they're doing it, shooting the I guess they call subliminals, and just like letting them know that they mess with me without just coming straight out and endorsing. But it's all good because the ultimate takeaway why I start doing this spotlight is to create the trend, to create the healthy habits of, speaking positively about your brother and your sister online rather than denigrating them and dragging them through the mud and roasting them, playing the dozen, talking badly and kicking dirt on our names and, airing the dirty laundry. I just wanted to create an instance where we're celebrating each other rather than tearing each other down. Because, sometimes we are our worst enemies. Some things don't need to be discussed online. If you have a grievance with your brother or a grievance with your sister, you go to them in their face, arrange it to where y'all can like mediate your disagreement and like you can civilly disagree or y'all can get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Get right physical, get right to it and get it over and done with. But, just leave it off the internet. So that's what I attempted to do in that section is just basically create the healthy habit of saying something nice about your brother and sister, celebrating their accomplishments and, giving them the roses while they're here and just acknowledging them for all that they do. And, more to the point, it doesn't necessarily have to be a celebrity. It could be just somebody in your neighborhood, somebody in your family, a regular person you just see, keeping on, just being positive, not being negative and being a helpful force in this world. Instead of, toxic or an instrument of destruction, bringing chaos wherever they go, just being positive, you know what I mean? So people deserving of a spotlight for all they do. All right, and then after the spotlight section, I segue over to the health and wellness section. In the health and wellness section, basically I'm giving tips about health and wellness. About, total, I'm promoting total mind and body health. And the reason why I'm doing that is because we, original people, are the target of so many diseases. And a lot of them diseases is brought upon by the media bombarding us with all these negative images and sound bites about us, and just keep on pumping all this negative news. And when they do that, it kind of weakens it weakens your immune system, and then allows illnesses to manifest physically throughout your body. And that's why typically most illnesses are called diseases, dis-ease, because they occur when your mind is at dis-ease. So, and in that section, what I'm doing is just basically giving you tips to, keep your immune system fortified, and, just strengthening your mind, body, and soul, and your spirit. So the types of things to look forward in that section is like tips about, if it's like something that you can ingest or apply topically, the health benefits of fruits, vegetable, herb, root, elixir, physical things you can do to maintain your health, like physical exercises. You'll hear that. Mental things such as mindful breathing, mindfulness, meditation, spiritual things such as praying, also, might from time to time talk about some metaphysical type things. But basically, I'm just giving total body health and wellness tips in that section because, like I said, we are the most under fire group on this planet. They're literally up in these labs, putting things in our food, putting things in the air, in the water, and daily products that we use every single day that are damaging to our unique cellular makeup and composition. Basically, they're trying to erase us off the earth, and we shouldn't be making their job easy. And it's not a conspiracy theory; it's reality. It's reality. If you can't see it, I don't know. Maybe you need to buy a pair of glasses, because even like Stevie Wonder can see what they're trying to do to us. But in that section, I'm just giving you, tips to keep you, mentally, spiritually, and physically well. I'm promoting total body wellness in that section. So now, after the health and wellness section, I transition over into my speaking point of the day. And my speaking point of the day is usually just anything trending online, current breaking news. Basically, what I do is unpack it from our perspective. If it's like world, global news or something, I just unpack it from our perspective. Or if it's something that happened directly in our community, I unpack it from our perspective, because if history has taught us nothing else, is you got to tell your own story, because if you don't tell your own story, you'll have your story told for you. And pretty much that's, kind of why the biggest reason why our people are in the condition that we're in. We're having people tell our story for us, because if you look in Hollywood, it's like just, the biggest grossing films is like slave movies. Like our culture, our civilization didn't begin with slavery. And not all of us are products of slavery. Like I said, we was the original man and original woman on the planet. We was already indigenously native to pretty much every corner of the globe you can think of. Not all of us got there via the transatlantic slave trade nor chattel slavery. We was already there. So you can't just, put the slave thing on us all the time. Even though it was something that happened within our culture and within history, that it wasn't the definitive, start of who we were. But I digress. So like I said, what you have to look forward to is just basically me breaking down current events from our perspectives, anything happening within our community from our own perspectives, because if, the media they'll misrepresent us intentionally and just paint out the worst possible narrative they can possibly spin on it, to just put us in the most negative light as possible as they can. So I'm just telling our story correctly in the my current my speaking point of the day. That's what I'm doing in that section. And in the event if I don't have anything currently, trending news I want to address, I just speak about, just something on my mind that an observation about our people that we should work on, including myself. Something that we culturally do that we should probably stop. And then I round it out with my final thought of the day. And my final thought of the day is just something witty, something insightful, something wise, something to just leave you, like, wow, that was deep. Something that will inspire critical thinking and just, basically, it's a wise word, just a final thought of the day. And that's it. That's my podcast experience in a whole. And I hope you join me this weekend so you can experience it. Today is, a random live. I've already shared some positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. And so now I'm about to deliver some commentary, and I'll leave you guys to enjoy your evening. So like some stuff going on in the media. So I think I started with, I said Black's death, but what is it? What was her name? Excuse me. I think I even got that wrong. What was her name? Diamond and Silk, wasn't it? Let me check. Because I don't know everything and I never want to portray an image that I do know everything. I'm wise, but I don't know everything. Diamond and Silk, I called the sister Black. I don't know. Anitha Lynette Hardaway. Okay, and they're sisters. All right. Diamond and Silk. So anyway, so let's start there. Many of us, including myself, we did not like the sisters' political views. We didn't like the physical representation of them aligning themselves up with Donald Trump, cozying up to Donald Trump. It wasn't so much supporting Donald Trump, it was the perception and the narrative surrounding it. It was like, it was basically a visual representation of the mammy stereotype. That's what we as a people didn't like. But now is a time of death, and now is a time of mourning, and we must separate that, the thing that we did not like, and show that sister and her grieving family some proper respect and stop, being disrespectful online and laughing and kikiing about someone that died just because she supported Donald Trump, And like more to the point, like say what you will about Donald Trump. Sure, he was ambiguously racist. Sure, he was xenophobic. Sure, he was like a chronic, habitual liar, egomaniacal. I can just go on and on and on and talk about his character. But as a president, he wasn't no worse than any president like we've ever had in an administration, including Obama. For people to follow politics, it's all some BS. What I will say to it is like he was a liar, but he didn't lie, if that makes any sense. He said during his run, like he said that C-19, he said, "Ooh, well, it'll just go away, it'll just blow over," and it did. He's saying stupid stuff like gargle with the bleach and China, blaming everything on China for starting it. But, it was a lot of truth during his presidency as well. So, my point being that you gotta take the good with the bad. And we can't sit up here and like make him the whipping boy for racism, because like that's what we not going to do, acting like racism just started when he became president. Like it was at its height in this country when he became president. Like I don't follow politics. I think it's awesome BS. The Democrats and the Republicans. I'm not a fan of none of it. But like what I'm also not a fan of is, denigrating our own. And, we tend to do that when we disagree with somebody's stance. We want to, assassinate them as a person. If you don't agree with them, you just don't agree with them. Like, for instance, like the Jesse Lee Pattersons of the world, the O.J. Simpsons, the Omarosas, the Candace Owenses. Like, they're still our brothers and sisters, but they're misguided in their views. And we can't entice them back to their true nature if we're always looking down at them and calling them names and, coon and mammies and all that. So at the end of the day, you just got to respect somebody's views and let them, talk about whatever they want to talk about. And like, let's be 110% real. The backing of it was for financial gain. I don't believe that they believed any of the words and rhetoric that they were spewing out of their mouths was real. Like I don't believe that. I don't believe anything that Jesse Lee Patterson says that he actually believes. I don't believe anything that Candace Owens says that she really believes. You know what I mean? It's like we let the media, that's their job, is to tug at our emotions and to tell us what we should be upset about, to divert us what we need to be upset about. It's all a shell game and we fall right into it. But my overall point that I want to make about the sister's death is now is not the time to kick why she's down, she's dead, whatever grievances about her political affiliation that you did not like, it passed with her. You don't need to be online being disrespectful to the people that she left behind, because like people love her, people care about her, So you don't need to be online laughing and like, ha ha ha, that's what that stinking bitch getting, da 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 da. Excuse my language. That's how people are talking online. They're talking coming all out the side of their neck with all this malice and vitriol for this woman, and it needs to stop. And I'm gonna play something else that I also do not own the rights to, but I think it speaks to this situation that's going around surrounding her passing. That we kind of never need to forget, because we forget. It'll be us one day. And this was years ago. This was like in the '80s by one of our beloved leaders. That made this statement. But we can still always pull from his message, and that's probably why he is the messenger. So I'm gonna play something for Brother Minister that's kind of stuck in my mind about her passing. So that we can we can use in reference to her passing and why nobody should be online mocking her death.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn. Learn. Because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you are laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself. Did you hear me?
Received. So all y'all people sitting up there mocking this lady's death, did y'all get that?
Turn your low energy into big fitness energy in 2023.
All right. So on to my next comment. So recently, Skip Bayless had made a comment, an insensitive comment about Damar Hamlin of the Bills during the game. So the brother passes out, he collapses. I'm not even going to do the direct quote because you can just go online and see what he said. It was very insensitive, but but my only thing I'm unpacking on that is like, why the shock? Why are we acting surprised when our enemies show us who they are? We already know who we're up against. We already know their true nature. So why do we sit up there and give them too much credit? Like we act like, oh my God, they said that? Oh my God. Oh, that monster, that unfeeling beast. Yes, he's a monster. He's a filthy, unfeeling beast. There's some filthy beasts. That's their true nature. And I'm not talking about all Caucasians. I'm just talking about the nature of man. And I already done told y'all who the original one was. So these filthy beasts are our little disobedient children. They came from us. But I don't know why everybody's so shocked that he said that. That was just modern day. This is just a visual representation of shut up and dribble. That's all they want us to do, to be entertainers. So if you're an actor, that's all they want you to do is act. If you play sports, that's all they want you to do is just play sports. If you're a comedian, all they want you to do is tell jokes. If you're in the entertainment industry, all they want you to do is entertain us. They don't want you to be a whole live, living, breathing human being. They just want you to entertain them. And so why are we acting so shocked at a guy that's in sports entertainment making a comment about being entertained? That's all they want from us is entertainment. As long as we're entertaining them, it's all good. But the second we use our platforms and our voices to empower, impact, and uplift, it's a problem. We can call each other niggas, bitches, and whores every day, all day long, and nobody bats an eyelash. We call ourselves gods and goddesses, then that's blasphemy. We call ourselves kings and queens, then that's reverse racism, or, that's tribalism. We say we're the original Hebrews or the last lost tribe of Israel, then that's anti-Semitism. You do the math. And I'm going to put a nail in it right there with that one. Speaking of math, the brother Math Hoffa recently had a guest, a young brother, a rapper by the name of J Hood, on his show. His podcast, what was the name of it? I'm going to have to pull that up because I just want to my expert opinion. And on this show, J Hood was just recanting, his experiences growing up, being a teenager in hip hop, and experiences that he had being under the tutelage of the Locks. And he said some things. He was just, telling his story basically. So when the episode went out, 1/3 of the group, the Locks, saw it and expressed their disdain about what he said on Math Hoffa's show. And J Hood responded to that response. And then another brother on his platform responded or chimed in on what was going on, what was trending on his platform. A brother by the name of Lord Jamar, 1/3 member of, Brand Nubian. He expressed his opinion about J Hood, about, the content that was expressed on the platform. And then, and then J Hood responded to Lord Jamar's response. Well, subsequently, they had a meeting of the minds and it stopped. And then also to add to that point, when Styles P did his Instagram post, he left it with, I wish you nothing but the best in life. He just, said what he felt he disagreed with in the interview. And where I'm chiming in at is, we know who the enemy is. And we know the enemy's job. The enemy's job is to lie, kill, and destroy. And they lie, kill, and destroy through this devil that we sitting in front of every single day, the media. And what they like to do is they like to take snippets, and just, they play games. They make us see things or we didn't actually see and hear things we didn't actually hear. And so what I believe they've done with these little excerpts is just kind of, manipulate the sound bites and the video clips and, try to cause division and try to just spark debates and disunity through something somebody said. And this is what they do all the time in the media, especially in the genre of hip hop. People misquote people. And, from that misunderstanding usually comes, a violent conflict. And it's usually like a physical fight or a shooting death. So thank goodness none of those twos happened within this round. It stopped there. So like I said, J Hood and Lord Jamar had a meeting of the minds, and they amicably agreed to disagree, and basically he probably would be a guest on his show, and I guess J Hood, he got his own little YouTube channel. He'll probably be a guest on that YouTube channel, and I'm trying to stay away from the word hope, but I anticipate and I'm sending the positive energy that, that all three of the locks, they can come to an agreement and, sit down with that brother and do some music or a project or just something. I know like they got like personal animosity, but, as the old saying goes, all BS ain't nothing. So, because like 90% of the time in hip hop, it's usually just a misunderstanding. And like, if you watch, what sparked the misunderstanding was, I don't know, some type of audio was circulating around, or what people were saying, misquoting something in the interview, saying that J Hood said the locks owe him $60,000. And he never said that. He never said they owed him anything in the interview. In the entire Math Hop, if you go and watch the entire interview, he never alluded to them owing him something. He never said one like negative word about him. He was just recanting his experience growing up, because the entire world wants to know like why that didn't work out. And that's all he did. They called him to the show. He answered some questions. He has his own YouTube channel. He got his own Instagram. He didn't go to YouTube, Instagram, and talk greasy and grimy about the locks. He just went on the talk show and talked. And it was on our platform. I think it could have went left if he would have went on DJ Vlad or Tim Westwood or all Adam 22 and all these other guys that sit around and stir the pot intentionally to get ratings and get us talking bad about each other and trying to, ultimately get us to kill one another. But it didn't end up like that. It ended up with we're going to agree to disagree, and they moved forward amicably and handled it like grown men. And I was so glad that happened. But for a while, it seemed like everybody was chiming in, and, that's kind of the wave on the internet. Like, people thrive on the negativity in our community and want to make us believe like that's the only way we can make money is by tearing each other down, not building each other up. So I guess for my commentary tonight on all three of the subjects that I touched on, we need to be building each other up instead of tearing each other down on our platforms. If you don't know something, like if you don't got the actual story, the actual factual facts, you shouldn't speak on it. Period. Like if you don't know from the top to the bottom what happened, you shouldn't speak on it. Or if you do speak on it from the perspective, say it was alleged or some sources say, because then that absolves you from, accountability. You're just saying what was said. You're not saying I said it or I watched it and I observed. You're not inserting your opinion and none of that. So, nobody can take and run with your words and twist them and flip them and make it seem like it wasn't something to instigate a beef. So we need to be really mindful of who the enemy is. Pick our words really wisely on the internet. We also need to be quick, like being overly sensitive on the internet, especially I believe in my opinion. See how I'm saying it? Absolving myself from responsibility in my opinion. Like acknowledge in hip hop that you can have an opinion. An opinion is just like, what you believe and what you think. Is your opinion the truth? No, it's your opinion, what you think. And then you can also always deflect somebody's opinion by like, well, who are you anyway to be having an opinion? To be giving your opinion. Like, who are you anyway? That's how you can always deflect that. But also to the point in hip hop, like you sign up for to be critiqued. Like if you're an artist, people are going to critique you. They're going to critique your lyrical ability, your craft. As an artist, they're going to critique your fashion choices. They're going to critique the people you date. They're going to critique your family. They're going to critique everything. And that's what you sign up for as an artist when you become an artist. You don't get to have private moments. Like after you sign that line on the record deal and like have your perform, you should be able to separate the two, but you can't. That's just one of those little nuances that come with it, as they say. It's all in the fine print, and that's in the fine print. As being an artist, is people are going to critique you. And you can't go off on every single person that critiques you. Can't. You'll just be fighting for the rest of your life. You'll be going to court for the rest of your life for beating people up or shooting people for critiquing you. But like I said, I'm glad that situation peacefully resolved itself and our brothers didn't play into the media devil's clutches by trying to harm one another or get each other harmed or, spewing any malice against one another. They found, they had a meeting of the minds and resolved it peacefully. So we're going to clap that moment up. And I hope, trying to stop saying hope, but I pray that all other artists that saw that's how you resolve a difference. If you have a difference of opinion with somebody, just peacefully resolve it. You go to that brother and you go to that sister or that sister and like tell them what you didn't like and, talk about it. Because we too old to be sitting up there because that's so immature just with that Twitter stuff and like, you know what I mean? Going back and forth online, that's some little kid stuff. Like, if y'all in it for the money and in it to like take care of your families and all that, why sit up there and entertain the BS? Like, just holler at that person to their face or have somebody mediate to where it can't get corny. And if y'all can't resolve it peacefully, if it's still you're still in your fields, like set it up to where y'all can like meet somewhere and just duke it out. Instead of back and forth online. But like I said, we're gonna clap it up for that peaceful resolve, and I pray that starts the way for peacefully resolving conflict about a difference of opinion, online. So kudos J Hood and kudos Lord Jamar for peacefully squashing that. Well, that'll do it for this live segment of the Narrative Podcast. I'm all talked out. I touched on all my topics. Told you what my regular format's going to be or how it is. So, I'm anticipating you joining me this weekend for a full broadcast of the Narrative Podcast. Support the channel by downloading this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Share them on all your platforms, like them, but the biggest thing is download them. So when you see the link, hit the download button. I believe this is episode 172, so download this episode 172 of the Narrative Podcast, and as well as all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast to keep my channel, growing. Another way you can support me is I have a personal poetry blog called Hawes's Poetry Corner. Visit that, share any poem or all of them to your favorite social media platform, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Wix, Tumblr, TikTok, Clubhouse, whatever you're on, share Hawes's Poetry Corner poem on one of your platforms. And then also, speaking of poetry, I wrote a book of poetry titled The Black Card. And I wrote it before I had an epiphany about the word black, but artistically, it fits, the phrase fits. So go, pick you a copy up of my book, poetry book called The Black Card. It's 30 poems. It's a nice, ultra sleek design, a good coffee table read, very portable. You can take it anywhere with you. Good for, on a plane or on a train. Nice little light read, very good, very excellent. It's called The Black Card. Go online to the Poetizer bookstore and purchase that. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to purchase it. Again, The Black Card, Poetizer bookstore. Go get it. I plugged everything. That'll do it for this episode of the Narrative Podcast. Thank you all for listening. I know you're going to join me this weekend. So, also tune in regularly to not miss me when I'm live, because I never know when I'm going to go live. So it's usually during the weekday, usually Monday through Thursday, because I broadcast on the weekend. So I never want to go live on a Friday, but I have before, but I usually try not to. So the broadcasts don't overlap. But yeah, so during the weekday, so tune in regularly to the Narrative Podcast so you don't miss me when I'm live. A good way not to miss me when I'm live is to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Halsey Allen on YouTube, and click the subscription, click that notification bell. Because my platform that I'm on broadcasts directly to my YouTube. It also broadcasts directly to my Twitter. I'm Halsey Allen on Twitter, so go follow that, and you won't miss me when I'm live here on this platform, the Narrative Podcast. So that'll do it. I'm all talked out. Join me this weekend. Thanks for listening, everybody. Good night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Halsey Allen and the Narrative Podcast signing off. And it's like that.
set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, add a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit, put a to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.